All right. So, okay, it does say we're recording. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Okay. It is July 21st, and this is our team time, our third Tuesday of the month training. And so welcome everyone who is on here so far. My agenda tonight basically kind of consists of maybe three things. First thing we're going to do is toot your own horn. So be ready if you have something that's just exciting to you. And I'm so serious, a $30 order coming in to begin with can be very exciting. And none of us will ever, somebody's going to say they had a $5,000 month, and then the next person might say they just got a $30 order. Depending on where you're at, both are equally exciting. So don't be afraid to share something thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not where those people are. We all have been beginning, or we've all been down in the slump and come back out again too, if we've been on here for a while. So, and then we're going to talk about our favorite conference takeaways, tips, ideas, just, what are we most excited about from conference? And then we will bring it back in and talk about July and August, because if all we focus on is conference announcements, July and August could go down the tubes, and that would not be good, because what you do right now in July and August really does set up how your fall will go. So there's a 30, 60, 90 rule. So what you do 30 right now will affect what ends up happening in your business 30, 60, 90 days out. So if you ever find yourself in a slump, it's not necessarily because of what you're doing right then. It's probably what you did 30 days ago. And it's so true. You're like, oh yeah, that is when I was busy and I didn't call any people for 2 weeks. And oh, that's why I don't have any bookings now, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 30 days later. So, all right. So I've got stuff I can share about you guys, but I'd love it if you shared it yourself. So I'm going to take a drink of my coffee and let the silence start. And somebody's going to say something that they're excited about. Oh.
Okay, I'll go. My newest one, newest one, I guess, just turned in her first party. Awesome. So Terry, my other sister Terry, I have two sisters Terry, who are both consultants. One of them's above me, one of them's below me. Turned in her first party today, and it was like 800 and some a fundraiser.
Awesome.
Yay. So we finally got through that first part. It was very big learning curve for both of us. And yeah, we finally got there. And so very excited for her. And she's very excited to be through the first one, I think.
Right. And like, over $200 paycheck. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute, 160, almost a $200 paycheck.
Because of 15% instead of 20. Yeah.
And plus, it was doubly hard. It's hard enough to get everything set up in the beginning. We all remember trying to get that Post My Party template going, and there's a lot of just stuff. And then she also had to add to it, how do you set up a fundraiser and get all that going, and how do you post for a fundraiser?
Well, and it wasn't a regular fundraiser. They wanted to do it as a registry. So we had to learn teach her how to set up a registry so that they could, it wasn't just, it was crazy. So yeah, she learned how to do lots of things all at once.
Right. And to this day, when I do a registry, I kind of have to relook it up and remember how to do it, just because it's just not something I do often enough, 2 or 3 times a year. So I have to relearn that every time. So being brand new, that's a lot.
So we did shipping to 2 different places in one order. We did we did all the things. Like it was all,
So more of the story, if anyone has questions about any of the above, call Stephanie. Hi, Amanda. Hey, Nelia. Good to see you. So we are tooting our own horn, something you're excited about in your business right now.
So I just booked 2 more parties. One was from a past guest who was waiting on something to come back in stock. And then I have a friend I used to work with at Panera, and she just started selling, what's it called? I always forget. Perfectly Posh, like skincare and stuff. And so we're kind of swapping. She's going to do a party for me, and I'm going to do a party for her.
Awesome. Good job. That's big. And you went back to work recently, so you're
Oh yeah.
more now.
Yeah,
So-
Panera's booming. Like it was super busy today. So
Well, congratulations. That's awesome. And this is a good time to get as many bookings right now as you can, because fall will kind of take care of itself. If you've got bookings now, that you will have shows going in July and August, that you'll get your bookings for September with the new products. All right. Somebody else was going to go. Great job, Michelle.
It was me.
Okay.
I'll wait again. That's fine.
Oh. Go ahead, Emily. Yours is lit up, and Nelia said she'd wait. So I think that was her that said that. Go ahead.
I'll go. It wasn't me, but I'll just.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited because our team is already green. We were green by 15, and where we had promoted last month, we're technically, this is called like a rebuilding month. So in order to be green, we, as a team, we only needed to hit 2,500, but we hit that and we're actually already past 5,000. So I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah, great job, because the 2,500, you know, it's scary enough when you have a whole chunk of people leave your team, and to pull it right back up to where it was before that quickly. That is great. So great job to the whole team, anybody that's a part of that. So yay. All right, Nelia, go, and that way we don't cut you off again. So
All right. So even though I don't have as many parties as I wanted this month, the ones that I do have are going pretty good, except for one. There's only one that's really dead and one that doesn't have many people, but everything else has been looking really good. So even though I was a little bit worried about this month, I think I'm going to end up pretty in a decent, space.
great. And do you know your number that you're at right now?
Well, I'm already at submitted at like 20. I think it's like 23, and I have like 4 and change waiting to go in these parties, but one of them is, the two of them are super active. Like there's a lot going on. So I think we're going to get more orders. So I'm hoping to get those, 5s or 6s, even, more than that, hopefully, because there's 60 plus in each group.
That's awesome. And for those of you who are newer, Nelia is a part of a group called the Fast Track to Director group, or really we call it just the Fast Track group now, because sometimes people are working to become a director. Sometimes they're working to earn the trip, or sometimes it's just, I want to build my business a little more. And it's a set of calls that happen on Tuesday nights at 8:45. So it makes Tuesday a very busy evening. Just kind of call it that, your work night. It's the one time you have to work nights if you want to do the program anyway. And Nelia has been following the steps that are given on each of those calls almost to a T. And it really does pay off. Tina has also been in the program, and she's been following them to a T, and it's paying off for her as well. So the steps really do work. It's a lot of work, and sometimes you do work when you don't feel like it with it, but that's, I was telling my husband today that, for saying, the harder I work, the luckier I get. And there's really a lot of truth to that, because people look at successful people and go, man, they're just so lucky. And it's like, well, no, it took a lot of work to get to where they are. So great job. All right. Yeah, good. Love that smile. All right. Anyone else? Kathleen and Amanda, just welcome, because they are pretty brand new and working through the first steps. So we are glad you're here. And don't ever hesitate to reach out. We all had to do it in the beginning, especially, and we all still do it sometimes. So don't ever think you're asking a question that's too silly or too small or whatever. It's exciting that you're starting into it, and it's just exciting to see where it's going to take you. So we're excited to have you here. Oh, you're muted.
I was just going to say I was happy to be here.
Okay,
So.
Thanks. We are so glad you
That's
are.
my exciting thing.
Okay, and that's great. That's a big exciting. Well, when you've only had one day, it's kind of hard to, have a whole show ready and going in one day. You can, but that's a little unusual. So I'm going to toot Tina's horn. She may or may not be where she can do this. She's had some internet struggles lately of all, like now that we're all virtual, internet struggles are really a difficult thing. But Tina is a former consultant with the Pampered Chef back in the pencil and paper days, where we literally did not do any of our business on computers. We did it all with pencil and paper and wrote them out, put them in an envelope. And if you wanted it in by the end of the month, you had to FedEx it overnight and show a receipt so that if for some reason it didn't arrive, you could still get credit for it. It was fun. Anyway, and so Tina, do you want to say, or do you want me to keep going? You're on here now. Can you talk, or?
You can keep going.
Are you sure? Okay, well, yeah, because it's kind of big and it's sometimes embarrassing to talk about big stuff. But so Tina told me in the middle of conference, a week, 10 days ago, whatever, okay, I want to do it again. I want to go for director again. So I'm like, yes, that's great. So then we found out that Elaine was going to have a rough month meeting director requirements because Elaine's mother did pass away Monday. So Elaine, if you watch this recording, we all are keeping you in our prayers. And we knew that our executive team we need 6 directors in the first generation and 2 in the second to keep the structure. And we had it 1 month, and you have to do it 2 months in a row. And so I was talking to my director, Becky, and she said, is there anyone in the team that might want to promote? And I'm like, well, Tina is doing really well. And Tina has already submitted 6,700 and something for the month. So she's already met the team requirement by herself for being a director. And we just needed 5 people who might sign up. And so she took the bait. I did not force her into it. I promise you all. Yes, no, I did not. I really didn't. I said, you have to be honest with me. But I do know Tina well enough to know that if I put that challenge in front of her, she just can't resist. So it was kind of sneaky. And so 32 people in one night, I think. You reached out and just started talking to people, past hosts. Kathleen was one of her past hosts.
Yeah.
Or actually a current host at the time.
Current, yeah.
Current host at the time. And Tina now has 5 new team members, and they are all working diligently to at least be active by the end of the month. Kathleen's getting ready to start in with parties and the template and all that kind of stuff, but they've all committed to trying to at least get 1 catalog show in, if nothing else, so that we have 5 people active. And Tina will she will be a director by the end of next week. And so that is major stuff. So congratulations, Tina, and the team who's all pulling together. And then that just expands it out to all the teams that are a part of the whole organization, because it's totally a team effort. It's, the Abbott executive team, and it's only by name that my name is on there, because it is so many people all doing their part with helping their people and so forth. So congratulations for everybody that we are.
Thank you.
Yeah. So good job. So, all righty. Anyone else? Emily Edens, your team is green also. So
yeah.
Yeah.
We finally hit it. We were struggling a little this month, but we've hit it and we're sailing past it. So
yeah, for sure. And when we talk about green by 15, that means as a consultant, you have turned in 150, and that's what's considered active for the month. And we say green by 15 is kind of the motto, because then you're not running around at the end of the month trying to scrape together an order and be active for the month with the company. So as a team, when you have a organizer or director teams, then the team as a whole, it's 5,000 total by the 15th. And it's just something we strive for, and it doesn't always happen by the 15th, but that's kind of, if you shoot for it high like that, and then it still happens 3 or 4 days later, or by the end of the month sometimes, that's great. And this month was kind of weird because the 4th was in that first week. So, it was kind of weird running parties that first week anyway. So when they normally would have come in before the 15th, a lot of us didn't really have our parties going until the week of where the 15th landed. So anyway, all right. So now I'm going to pick up my coffee cup again and act like I'm actually going to drink out of it. But I want you to kind of take it away and share, if you were at the conference, share something, just share your favorite takeaway. If you were not at the conference, but you've been looking over all the new announcements, definitely still share, because there was so much. I'm sure we could be on here forever, and we'll just let everybody share for a minute or so and see where we go. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first since I didn't participate in the first activity.
Okay.
My big aha was live stream parties. I never really thought about doing a Zoom party, but I do have friends that aren't active on Facebook, so it would be a way to get some new parties. And since I used to do live parties, it wouldn't be a big deal for me, other than figuring out how to set up my phone to do it. But you know,
Awesome.
the tripod and whatnot. So that's something I think I'm going to try.
Wow.
And you will. You do great at like taking ideas like that, and you have that group that is so into the social part of it. So I think they'll really enjoy that. And it's, you know, but that's what we have to do. And so you're talking putting your phone up and you'll be cooking and they'll just be like watching.
It's like a 45, yeah, it's like a 45-minute or an hour-long Zoom call that runs just like a party used to run.
Yeah.
Where you do a demo and you have interaction and you do, you know, giveaways. And
That gives me anxiety thinking about
demo
it.
at conference actually gave the food to the host if they lived close. They came and picked it up.
Oh, that's an idea. Yeah.
That was a great idea.
Oh yeah. And you know what? That makes me nervous, but it's like, wait a minute. I used to take my stuff to people's homes and stand in front of them and make stuff anyway. Why am I nervous to do it on a camera? I don't know, but yeah, it's really not that big of a deal, I suppose. So
That's because you love technology so much.
that's probably, there's something deep rooted, because I'd be just going to town and I wouldn't know it, but they'd all be typing, we can't see you. We can't, you know, and I can't.
We could do it
see
together. I could do the technology and you could do the cooking, because I do not want to do that part.
Okay. Yeah, we could do that. We live close enough. We could do that. So yeah, great idea. I love that too. And it's one of those, someday I might do that. So, all right, who else?
Try it with a few really close friends first and practice that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see, Deb, I could almost see you creating something else where they cook also, and you're all kind of like
Cook
making
along,
something
yeah.
different, because you kind of have that club that they all help anyway. And, you know, they're in their kitchens and each person maybe picks something and you kind of, you know, hey, everybody, and you just hold it up, and it'll probably be a little crazy, but a live show is kind of crazy sometimes too. So cool. All right.
I could join in on that.
Yeah. Who else?
I'll go.
Okay.
I'm excited about the direct ship, especially after this week
Yes.
with my host. I cannot tell you how excited I am for the direct ship. Yeah.
I cannot wait for you all to have it, because I've had it for 5 years now. I kind of forget how great it is.
But we don't, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and plus we'll all be on the same page when it comes to training everybody too, because yeah, I'm really, and the way they have the gift thing so that you can add a gift to it and it takes care of shipping, you know, you can just add it and they ship it for you. Oh, I'm so excited about that. I spend a chunk of my week doing mailings for my door prize gifts. So that's nice that they added that in there. Is everybody, by nodding the head, is everybody really excited about that? It's gonna be, I mean, that's just gonna be huge for the company as a whole. And I'm sure the reason they haven't done it is because it meant a restructuring of the warehouse, which they've been forced into whether they wanted to be or not with COVID. But I do know that they were working on that way before COVID happened. A friend of mine, I've told some of you this, she works for a company. Actually, Tina, we went to college together, it's Rudy. Rudy works for a company. Remember Rudy? Yeah, I can't remember her name. Last name, yeah, C. Schultz or something. But anyway, she works for a company that is putting in the whole new system. And so I posted something. She's like, oh yeah, my company's working on this new system for your guys' warehouse. And I was like, what, you know, she didn't know anything because she's the HR. So she wasn't able to give me any details, but I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then kind of forgot about it. And then when all this happened, I'm like, oh, please get that done fast, because the shipping has obviously, you know, been a thorn in the side for everybody, but hopefully it's going to get better. And it actually, I think we're seeing light at the end of the tunnel already. So, all right. What else from conference?
I'm also excited about the free shipping.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. Oh, I
So-
can't wait.
Yeah, so what is it? Any order up until $150, it's just a flat rate fee of $7.95.
Mhm.
And then if you spend $150, it's free shipping, which is awesome.
I know.
It is.
Oh, that's big. There are so many people out there that will keep buying more to get free shipping. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, seriously.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like, well, might as well spend it on something else instead of paying for the shipping. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm so thrilled they kept it at $7.95. So it's only
Mhm.
45 or 50, whatever, I don't know, 70 cents more.
Change. Yeah.
Yeah. And it still doesn't look that bad because it's under $8. It's still got the
Mhm.
7 in front of it. Most people probably won't even realize that it went up, so
You're right.
Mhm.
yeah, so thrilled. And it's so much easier to explain, well, up to the first 100, it's this, and then after the second 100, and then it goes, yeah, so very happy. That, I can just imagine what that's going to do for our fall Christmas time orders, when people are buying 4 of this and 3 of that, and, they can just keep adding to that order because there's no shipping. Oh, yay, I'm so excited. Doesn't take much. And you can tell we have trendy people in the company because they're really looking into what it is out there in the world that people want, right now. And it's being able to shop from the computer and have friendly, wonderful things that happen when you do it. So yay.
And I think it all starts October 1st, right? I think all of this starts October 1st.
Direct ship, I know, is October 1st. I don't remember on shipping, the free
I know.
shipping.
I'm looking at the sheet I have, and not everything's on there. I've got that sheet that you sent out to the directors, Emily. I know the new products come out September 1st.
Except the
for
stones.
The stones, yeah. So, and the
I have a
new,
bunch of crazy notes from conference, and I have a star that says everything starts October 1st. So I heard
Okay.
that somewhere.
but not the new products, correct? New products are still September 1st,
Yes, except for the stones.
except for the stones, I know.
Mhm.
And that's kind of a bummer that it's a little bit of a,
Delay.
glitchy kind of delay thing there, but I'm sure they're doing their best. I did hear it on a call, I think it was Kathy Cantrell, who said, a way to promote the stoneware, because we're going to be probably hearing, well, wait a minute, I've got the old stoneware. What is it? Should I get new? And it's, well, that's up to you. But she said, it's not your mama's stoneware. Would be kind of fun for all the new generation of people. Pampered Chef's been in business for 40 years. So basically our new audience are the children of all the people who started out with stones many, many, many years ago. And so, it's going to do all the wonderful things that the stones have always done and more, just like cars, new and improved, everything out there in the world changes about every 7 years or so and gets an update and a new look. And it's been a while since the stones have, so it's kind of exciting. So, all right, what else? The coffee's not cold yet.
Well, it's not new, but it's new to me. The app. That I didn't know about, that I've used like crazy already. That
I learned new
don't even
things
know what
about
it's
the app,
called.
which was nice. Being able
Yeah.
to like share the links and stuff. I didn't know you
Yeah.
could do that.
Oh my goodness.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What's the app?
Okay, it looks like this if you get it on your phone. And
So it looks like a little pot.
Looks
Yeah.
like a rock crock.
Yeah.
Lid on.
And if you press that, it's basically a product catalog, and you can search a product so quickly, it pops up and it gives you everything about the product, use and care, warranties, all that stuff. And
Recipes.
then, recipe
that
yeah,
you
to
can
go with,
share.
and then you can shoot it out to people and share it quickly.
Like to their text, to their messenger, to Facebook, like in a post or in a comment on a post. When somebody asks a question in one of your parties, it's still like so easy to share the stuff right from, and it's the consultant catalog version rather than having to look through the legit catalog, I guess.
How do you get it?
That was, yeah. Do you remember? I did it.
Yeah.
I
know I
You
did
have
it
to log
during
in
Explore.
to your consultant's corner, like just log in and then go to Explore, and then it's under Consultant Tools. And then it should say Consultant Product Catalog, and then it'll give you like the install. instructions.
And
So
I
if-
had
you
to fight
cannot
my
be logged
times
in.
to get it to work. So beware.
And you cannot be logged in on an app on your phone. It has to be logged into the Pampered Chef website. Not like I tried it through my app on my phone and it would not work.
Mm-hmm.
You have to log in through the website to do it.
The pamperedchef.com on your phone
Yeah.
and be in the actual website, and then you can get it.
In in a browser. That's what it took
Yes.
me a long time to get it figured out.
Mhm.
But you have
Yeah,
to go
okay.
into your browser and log on that way.
Yeah.
And then you can download it.
So Safari, Chrome, whatever,
Mhm.
get into Pampered Chef that way, and then it'll work. Because if you don't, it just won't work, and then you're frustrated.
You can see it, but you can't download
Can't
it. You
download it.
Yeah.
I tried 4 times before I figured that out.
Me too.
I did too.
And I messaged you all and I'm like, why won't mine download? Yours is downloading. I don't understand.
And of course, I just got lucky and did it the right way and had no idea, because
Because you were like, what?
I'd have
It
still been
works.
sitting here without it, thinking it's just my computer, it's just me. But
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I have been loving that. That has been really nice.
Yeah.
If you
So-
didn't listen to all the Tasty Tidbits sessions on the pre-conference day, they are so full of information. They're all worth listening to.
I'm working my way through them now. They're awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's like more than you can even take in, like stuff that you
Mhm.
can do in these computer programs or in our, in our website. I would challenge everyone, like Amanda, Kathleen, you guys are new. So for right now, you're just trying to take in the basics. So stay with that because it's a lot just to kind of, maneuver through. But whenever you have a chance, 10, 15 minutes here or there, or if you're like, waiting at a doctor's appointment, go in and just start clicking around. It's just amazing the different little fun things that they have put into our website that you can do. I keep calling it a program. It's a website now. It used to be a program. Back in the day, after the pencil paper time of Tina and I, then they came out with like a computer disk that you would load into your computer, and you would do you could still do shows online, but it wasn't really online. It was just kind of like working at a desktop. And then when we became connected on the web, that was huge. Of course, it took me a long time to get there, but I am there and loving it. So, I'll go ahead and share with that. And I think I did a video, one of the videos that's in our training, it hits on this, but I didn't know where to put it. So it's just kind of in there randomly, and you might see it, you might not. But where if you're in your parties and you have all your parties listed that you've already either done or that are going on now, in the little box up at the top in like the search box, if you just start typing in someone's name, like if you just type in Susie, it'll bring up everybody named Susie that has ordered from you, and it'll tell whether they were a guest, which party they were a guest in, and you can find their info just like that. I mean, and you can even, if you know their phone number, so for instance, let's say someone texts you and says, hey, my stone broke, can you help me? And you're like, I have no idea who this is, and you don't want to feel like a fool going, yeah, I'll help you, but who are you? I have done that before, but you can actually type in their phone number in that little box, and it will bring up their name based on who that phone number belongs to. And then you can go look, and if they said their stone broke, then you can go, oh, I've got it, I have it pulled up, and I just need you to send me a picture and we can get it replaced. I mean, really good stuff that we have some very, very good young techie people who have come up with some cool stuff. So if you ever have a day and you just want to sit, I'd love to just get on a Zoom and we do a screen share and keep exploring, because I think every time I go in there, I learn something new. So anyway, what else from conference?
No, a lot of us are working on tracking shipments, and one of the little snippets they threw out there was that if you're looking at that track shipments page and there's an asterisk next to somebody's name, that means that part of their order did not ship. So they've got something on back order. So you can kind of have an idea of who's going to be waiting, who could possibly get mad, that kind of thing. It's happening.
Right. And if they get mad, sometimes the ones who get mad, if you handle them well and just keep treating them with kindness, they turn into bookings. I'm just saying, just don't give up on some of those mad people, because, we've all been mad at something with some kind of consumer thing that we've purchased or whatever. And when you hear that someone cares and that they're at least going to listen, that's sometimes all somebody really needs. They know you can't fix it. They just want you to say, yeah, you're right. That is frustrating. I hear you. So, so anyway, take those and try to turn, the lemons into lemonade, I guess is the way. I like lemons, so I don't consider lemons a bad thing, but as the saying goes. So, yeah. And Tina?
Sorry.
Oh, or
I have a tech question. I know that surprises some of you. So I pulled up the app. I don't know if you can see that. So I logged into Consultants Corner on my phone, and it says quick access, add Consultants Corner website to your home screen. Just tap the box with the arrow up, then add to home screen. So I hit the button. I don't have anything that says, where is it? Add to home screen. Where do I find add to home screen?
Were you in a browser when you did it?
Safari.
Because see, that's what I got when I wasn't in a browser.
Maybe swipe the area where it says like Facebook and emails, swipe
Slide
that
him.
over and see if
Yeah,
it's
slide him to the left.
tucked away.
It says, so if I go to more, then I have my whatever that's called, settings and all that kind of stuff.
Try it from Chrome. Try logging in from Chrome maybe instead of Safari. I don't know if it'll make a difference.
That does not look like the PC catalog either. That looks like you're just downloading Consultants Corner as like an app on your phone.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I was thinking.
That's
I was too
different.
afraid to
Different
speak up. So I don't know. Okay.
That's where it was.
Oh.
Because
If
there
you're
are
trying to do the catalog, the product catalog, you need to go into Explore.
Because there are two things you can download. You can download, I don't even know if you call it an app.
Can you see that one?
Yeah, the one you want, it's like blue without what Stephanie's showing right now. It's blue and it's got a little rock croc.
And the other one.
The other one's purple.
Okay, Tina, can you see there's up in my top corner, there's a PC spoon, the PC, and then the spoon in the middle.
Yeah.
That I think is what you might be getting ready to download, which is just a button you can push that takes you right to the website so you don't have to log in through Safari anymore. Does that sound right, everyone?
Yeah.
Which is handy as well.
Which is handy, yeah, because then you don't have to go to Safari and log in, do it all that way. It's just, okay, I want to go to Pampered Chef, it's right there. The catalog thing with all the products is another app. So now you would have like two icons on your phone. The one that just gets you to the Pampered Chef website really quickly. And then the one with the rock crock pot looking thing on it is that product browser thing.
Okay.
And Amanda, Kathleen, please don't be scared away. I mean, you guys might not be worried a bit, but everybody else on here has been around long enough, they kind of, but if I'd been listening to this my first week, I would have probably gotten off the phone and gone, I'll never be able to do this. They're talking about, because when I first started computers, I had no idea what a URL was. And people would say, well, just copy the URL and paste it. And this is a foreign language. I have no idea. So just walk through it a step at a time. And it really, it does get easier and easier. And we're all here and we all ask questions all the time. So yeah.
When you were talking about the tracking thing with the asterisk, when I was on with chat one of my 2 times yesterday of my like 8 hours of hold, I don't know if this is real or not because the guy kind of sounded like he didn't know what he was talking about part of the time, I have to admit. But he told me that the host with the asterisk, because my host had an asterisk, and he's like, she's received her whole order. And I'm like, well, she's still got an asterisk. And they told us if they have an asterisk, they didn't have their whole order. And he's like, that's because somebody in her party doesn't have all their stuff.
So
So I'm thinking maybe somebody that's having theirs shipped to her, maybe.
Mhm.
That might be what that is, and maybe she really does have all her stuff. So if your host
Yeah.
has an asterisk, maybe it's not necessarily they're waiting on something, but somebody having something shipped to them does.
okay.
Yeah, I think
That's
that's
good.
right. Because if it was just a guest who had something shipped to themselves, and there would be like a tracking number, but since they're not having it shipped to themselves and it was shipped to the host, then the asterisk would go next to the host because it should be
Yeah.
there.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then another thing I learned on my multiple wait time yesterday, the first time I waited for like 3.5 hours and I got through, which was great. That was in the morning. The second time I got on like at 8:04 and I felt really guilty doing it because I'm like, they're supposed to leave in like, 6 minutes or whatever.
I've done that before.
Yeah. And I'm like, I was like 140 when I got on. I'm like, oh, and it was 2:20 in the morning when I finally gave up and went to bed. Yeah. And I was still on it. I was number 14 when I went, and I could not do anything because by that time it was like 25 minutes between counting down numbers. And I'm like, I just couldn't do it anymore. So I just left it open, and I'm like, it really might be when I get up, I might still be on number 2 by the time. So I just thought I would leave it open. When I got up, it had disconnected, and I'm like, oh, well, worth a try. At like 3:30 this afternoon, I got a phone call. I'm calling because you got disconnected yesterday on your chat. And I'm like, holy crap. I'm going to do that from now on.
That's good to know.
Yeah. I had no idea they would call you back if you got disconnected. So just if anybody wants to get on the chat and go to bed and get disconnected, they call you the next day.
That's good to know. And by September, they are saying that things will feel normal again. Now, if you're new, you don't
This
know
is
what
normal.
is, but this is not normal.
You're
Yeah.
gonna love normal.
Oh my gosh.
I can't imagine.
I mean, I would have, especially with direct ship, I would start a party on a Friday before, and somebody might order on Sunday night. They would have their order by Tuesday or Wednesday before the party was even done, because that's how fast the shipping can be once we get this bottleneck done. But you got to remember, we had all the stuff shipping from conference, plus all the huge amount of extra orders that were coming in because we grew by 300%. And then we also had COVID, so that the space, the social distancing, we've got all these customer service people working from home. So it's just, kind of like the perfect storm. So the wait times will not be as bad, partly because people are going to be getting their stuff faster. That's a huge part of why they have so many calls coming in, and all the back orders and all these vendors who can't get the product to us. We just have to keep, breathing in and out, and it will get better. I'm really starting to just feel this little tinge of, I think things are starting to move. It's still going to be slow for a little bit, but I do feel we're on the better side of it, and it's going to start getting better. So, all right. And also this is not something I learned at conference, but remember, if you are looking for information about whether a show is shipped, you can also go to your parties in Consultants Corner, where you have your list of parties, and there's a truck icon on the same line as the host name, and you can click on that truck, and it will give you some information on each person's order as well. And if it's been a week or so, it's just going to say not shipped, not shipped, not shipped. But as it gets closer to time, that one sometimes updates faster than the shipment alert status that is in the reports part. And again, Kathleen, Amanda, all this report stuff and all that, don't fret about it. If it doesn't come up, you don't need to know it right now. You'll know when something comes up, and you'll be like, oh, what are they talking about? And you'll call your recruiter, or you'll call me, and we can say, oh yeah, that's that truck we were talking about way back in July. Remember that? And hopefully you won't have a return until then, or have a problem until September or October or something. So, alrighty, any more conference takeaways?
Neela said she has a question about shipping in the chat.
Yeah, so very quickly, I just wanted to ask. So I'm looking at one of my parties right now, and I know when you go in that reports and tracking at the top, it says shipping as a parties submitted, blah, blah, blah. So I had some parties that were submitted 6/14, and I was like, oh great, everything's been shipped. But when I go into the party, there's only 3 guests that have gotten packages, and everybody else isn't. So why are they saying that they're done with those if not the whole thing isn't shipped? I've been telling my girlfriend, the one that hosted, who's been waiting for her air fryer, and I'm like, oh look, it's the 14th, and now I'm in here seeing that hers really didn't go, and there's others that did.
I don't know that I have a good answer. My first thought was sometimes it really doesn't catch up with itself. That's possible that they have been shipped and it has not shown as updated. So in the warehouse, they are up to the 15th, meaning that stuff that came in on the 14th has been dealt with. It possibly is sitting there being ready to be pushed onto one of the trucks, but it's been processed, but it hasn't shown up. So what I say to people like that, it's like, oh man, yours is up. They're working on, and I'll kind of give it a span, like they're working on the 13th through the 15th. So I know it's happening. You may even get it before I get the final word that it's been shipped. And that's highly likely. They may even have it and it's not showing up yet. So, and I don't call everyone and tell them that. I call the people who get in touch with me and ask about it. However, if you want to do good customer service, you can look for all those little asterisks, and that might be a good way to get bookings too, is call those people. I'm so sorry that, you have an item on back order. I know how frustrating that is. And, start a conversation with them. And then somewhere, don't hit them with it the very first sentence. I know you're frustrated. By the way, do you want to have a party? We know that. We're not going to do that. But if you kind of start up a conversation and they know that you've just noticed, and then, oh, you're going to love that, whatever, once it does come in, do you have any other products? And then they tell you what product they like. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's the first thing I ever bought. I mean, every conversation's different, but it truly is those little snippet conversations that go on that kind of make them feel that they trust you, like you, whatever the word is, and they just feel comfortable. And then it may not be that particular conversation, but make a note of it that you've had a contact with someone. And then a week later, when their stuff does come in and they're happy, you can, hey, your stuff should have arrived or it'll be there in a couple days. So thank you for waiting. Have you ever thought about having a party? You just seem like you love Pampered Chef. Would love to help you get some free. So, I mean, those are just take more time kind of things, but it truly is a great thing to do to build relationships. And I try to do it in my parties as much as I can now, which kind of gets us onto my next topic is conference. We got all that stuff that's going to start September 1st, but we can't forget about July and August, because all of your bookings for the fall are going to come from the shows that you are working on for July and August. So one of the tips I will give for trying to get your calendar full is in the parties that you do have, Kathleen and Amanda, I know you're setting things up and getting started in parties. I try to have conversations with at least 4 or 5 people in every party. And I would love to have conversations with every single person, but I don't have time. I mean, I guess I could stay up till 2 like Stephanie did, but I don't do that. Not all the time anyway. But I do it with the games. Like if someone gives me a private message with answers to a game, by golly, we're going to have a little conversation. And it could just be anything that they say. Like one of them might have said she grows, or, she did well in the herb game. I'm like, oh, do you grow your own? And then she, oh, I never have, I still buy them, but I've always wanted to, I mean, it's just every person different, but I try to have a little sentence back and forth with them. And then somewhere in there, and they can probably see right through that. I mean, as a consultant myself, when I'm in a party for someone else, I know that they're probably going to ask me to have a show if I start having a conversation. And that's fine, because if I tell them no and they're gracious about it, no is just, no, I'm not interested in that, but thanks anyway. And then I usually reply when they say no, well, we need great customers just as much as, and hosts, or great customers just as much as we need great hosts. I appreciate your business. I hope you'll, consider me your consultant. Put me in your phone as P Chef Terry, because I know they may not remember my name, but they will remember to look up P Chef, or Pampered Chef, and then my name will pop up to them. So those are a couple tips that I would have to share. What do we have for, how many of you have August booked the way you want it? Okay, my hand's down too. And some of you are still working on maybe some bookings for next week to get a couple more in for July. But does anybody have any tips of things they are doing that's been helping to secure bookings on your calendar?
I'm offering a new product as a giveaway for one lucky host in August. It's not helping a whole lot just yet, but I'm hoping it will.
So they're in a drawing. If they book a show
Yeah.
in August, they're in a drawing for a new free product.
Right.
Great.
Are you showing the product yet or just
Nope.
saying some? Okay. Okay.
The surprise. They have no idea what they're getting.
You know what you're going to do?
Nope. I'll pick something. I mean, to be fair, I am a director, so I get the free director products and I got all the free for all. So
Yeah.
I'll have 2 sets of everything. So I get kind of a free random draw. I can pick
Yeah.
out something fun. If I have a lot of really good parties, it may be something bigger. And
Yeah.
not so many, then maybe something smaller.
So are you, I'm like, because I'm thinking about doing that. So do you include the ones who've already booked too?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I did the same thing in July for $100 prize box because I have so much like doubles of everything that my husband's about to strangle me. So I'm just offering $100 prize box. And I mean, it could be like paring knives and the little mini whisk, or I mean, it doesn't have
Whatever,
to be
yeah.
huge. It's just whatever I have.
Okay.
So
All right. I'm doing the teacher stock your kitchen, stock your classroom thing where and I saw a couple different on the Pampered Chef party pages, like the game pages where you can get the different games, and I saw different graphics for them, and it's like 10% or 5% of the guest sales. And then I saw one that was, I'll give you 25%. And I'm like, holy cow. But then when I read it, it was 25% of my commission. And I'm like,
yeah.
So I was like, okay. And I turned to my husband, I'm like, figure this up. How much is 25% of this versus 10% of this if the party was, and I'm like, whoa, it sounds like more if you say 25%, but it's actually not. So I'm using that graphic. So I'm giving them 25% of my commission from the party. So that's the one I'm using. If anybody wants it, I can post it.
Okay. Yeah. If you're new and you're wondering, it's, basically it is going to be a donation out of your commission. But if you have a heart for for teachers, it's one of those things you don't mind donating part of your commission just because you want to help them anyway. So we have some graphics. I think Emily posted some in our team page already. So if you scroll down, you can find those pictures, or you can even probably just click photos and some of them would pop up in the photos.
And then you give, like the way I'm doing it is 25%. I'm just giving them either Venmoing them the cash or getting a gift card of their choice to whatever store they want to use it for. So
I'm also doing that for nurses in August, since we've had so many nurses and doctors that have been working their tails off. I'm offering the free percentage to just kind of spoil themselves with doing whatever.
That's a good idea too.
For August, so.
I kind of like that because it makes you feel better about asking for bookings for yourself, because you're giving back too, and it just kind of feels good to do something like that. Another idea, and I will share the graphic with you, but I'm not posting it because it's someone's personal graphic that they made up. It's Diana Owen is in a group that some of us are in, and she posted, and you could make up your own graphic, and I can help you with that if you're newer as well. But I think there's maybe 6 products that people can choose from on a slide. And then she says, depending on when you book your show, I will give you this product and if they book a show the week of 7/27, which, July 27th, they get it for $7.27. If
That was
they book it
cool.
the week of August 3rd, they get it for $8.03. And then what you do, and most of them are anywhere from $15 to $20 items. So what you would do is you would add that to the host's order at the end of the party, because the host is going to get at least 20% off of that item. And then you would just pay the difference so that she only has to pay $7.27. So it might only end up costing you, you know, at the most $10 probably, depending on, you know, don't put an air fryer on there by all means, not that you would. But, you know, depending on what product, I usually like pizza cutter's a great one, a micro cooker's a good one.
Mix and chop.
Yeah, definitely. People like the mix and chop, mix and masher, maybe, you know, the ceramic egg cooker would be a good one. So, but just pick some items, and then people just love the idea of getting something for a bargain, or it's just kind of fun to play a game. There are also some graphics out there that has like the 6 different weeks or the 5 different weeks that people are wanting to fill. And it just says week of July 27th, week of August 3rd. And when you pick that week, then you send them another slide and you reveal what they won for either free or for however you want to do it. And if you're giving it free, then you might just want to put like the measuring spoons, you know, something that's maybe $8 so that you know that's all you're going to spend on that. So it is out of your pocket, but it's, you know, sometimes if you're having trouble getting bookings when you want them, that's something to resort to. I usually resort to those when I, you know, even if I'm getting bookings for some other day, but I really want one next week because I need just to feel more comfortable with my number of bookings, then I'll turn things like that out. For those of you who are new, and even for all of us veterans, I still truly believe in those words that we sent out at the very beginning, which says, I'm a part of a pilot. Can you help me test it out? Because it just sounds so not that hard to do when those were, you know, I need 4 people to help me test it. Would you be one of my testers? Can I put you down for next week? I love that. It's just so simple. And I think people read it. If you message that to them and they're like, well, I can't really think of a good reason to say no, okay, because it's so not threatening at all. So I still use those, not those exact words, because I can't say I'm new anymore, but I'll still say I'm trying out a new pilot, or sometimes I'll say I'm trying out a new template, or I'm trying out a new method, or I'm trying out something, because I am almost every week I'm trying out something new because I tweak things a little bit and I don't know if it's going to work well or if the posts that I've chosen are going to be good ones. So when you just send that out to friends, most of them want to help you, and they will if they can. And if you don't make it too messy and complicated on how they have to help you, they'll just be like, sure, what do you need me to do? So, and then I also, for those of you, for Amanda, Kathleen, I highly, highly recommend trying to do 4 your first week that you go through it. If you don't, it's not a big deal. But if you do, it's not that much more work at all to do 4 as it is to just do 1. I see people nodding their heads. And if you do 4 and one of them flops, this is corny, but one might flop, one might drop, then the other 2 will pop. And that way, you know, you're still insured a couple good shows for all the time and effort you're going to put in. Because let's say you only schedule 1 and you go through the work of getting a template set up and just kind of learning all the new stuff, and then that happens to be the show that flops. It can be very discouraging to put in all that work and not get a paycheck the first week. You will eventually, but some people give up too soon. We will try not to let that happen for you guys. And it's not very often that totally happens, that you have just a total flop, but we've all had them, right? Where you just
turned one in today that was 0 in sales. It happens.
So, okay, why did you turn it? I'm just curious because
I turned it in because she did really push to get people in there. She was tagging people. She was doing everything I asked her to do, and her friends just didn't jump on board with it. So I told her, I said, I'm going to turn it in, let you still get the 10% off for a year since you rocked it, even though your friends didn't help you out. And
I will say she may have $1,000 show 6 months from now, because I have a cousin, some of you might know her, but anyway, she's probably had a show for me at least once a year, sometimes twice a year for almost the full 28 years I've been in it. And she's had duds, you know, so she's had my highest show ever. And she's also had a dud that, you know, doesn't happen. She typically won't let them stay as duds because she's pretty good at just calling people and going, come on, you guys, you got to order. And, you know, then they do. But she's had them where they just, sometimes you hit a week and it just happens. And so you can't let it get to you. You're just like, well, there's my dud. And the good news is duds don't happen that often. So if you had one, you got it out of the way. And then you're going to have good ones to come after that. So, all right, I'm going to look at dates real quick. Does anybody have any questions while I kind of check this out? Okay, July 30th is the last day if you went to conference to view all the conference stuff. It's also the last day to order any spring paperwork or spring samples if you still wanted to order some of the spring products. July 31st is when you can start ordering the fall paperwork and the fall samples, and we get those at half price. You can also order the newly designed tote and apron beginning July 31st. Beginning August 1st, all new consultants who sign up will be given the newer version of the apron and tote, and the original bar pan and the quick cooker will come in the kit. But beginning September 1st, and if you have, I mean, this is a lot to take in, ask me, the new consultant kits will contain the air fryer when they order, as opposed to the quick cooker. So October 1st is when the stoneware will be launched. The company is going to start doing these Teach Me webinars, and those will be, I believe, on the STIR. Is that usually where they show up to be able to register for those? And so again, there's so much out there to look at, but those are really helpful. And each week they highlight something new. The first week, August 12th, is stoneware. The next week, it's the host experience, which is going to talk about all the new stuff for how the host plan is going to work. August 26th, the direct ship now. And then September 7th, subscription selling. Oh, nobody even mentioned that. The Tasty Tidbits. Tasty Tidbits. You know, there are lots of people out there. The FabFitFun Box people, they're going to love, if they cook at all, they're going to love that little monthly subscription that can come to them with some samples and some recipes. And so I think that will be really fun to start selling that.
I think it'll be easier to sell after we see them too. I mean, I'm going to subscribe so I see what they get.
Yeah, and how it's packaged is huge. Yeah, it's got to look fun. They got to open it and go, oh my gosh, you know, I can't wait to try that. So I think it's a great idea, because that is, I mean, gosh, I search for those to try to give as gifts for people sometimes. So, and they're expensive, and that one's not too bad. What is it, like, am I remembering, is it $19 a month or something like that? Or
I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
it wasn't too bad though, compared to some of those. They're like, you know, $50 a month. So to buy someone a year subscription, that's $600. I don't give gifts like that. Sorry. But anyway, okay. And then I want to make sure everyone is aware. My director, Becky, she's a national level director. She and a girl named Love Carpenter and Donna McDonald, I think might be in this. They are doing a series of calls on Wednesdays. I know it's another thing to add to your plate, but if you want some extra really good training tips, just some ideas, and not necessarily to sit down and go, oh, I have one more thing I have to do. No, it's to hear them talk, and a lot of it go, oh my gosh, I'm already doing that. Cool, that's a good idea. Or, oh, I do that, but I haven't done it quite that way. So it's not a burden on you. You will find these to be so helpful. She's going to start those July 22nd, so tomorrow. And she's going to start with bookings outside of parties. And then the July 29th, they're going to talk about booking once you have parties and how to get more bookings from the parties. And then on August 5th and August 12th, the following Wednesdays, she'll be talking about recruiting and how to offer the opportunity to people and bring them in to the business. So those are going to be Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. I will be posting the information and the link about them on our team page. I also want to let you guys know that Becky has a page called the Ishii Team Imagineers, and it's for anyone in her organization. I think I just added Nelia recently, maybe Tina, I think you're in it now, possibly. I have stopped adding people to it immediately because I felt like it's just so much information in the beginning anyway, and you're thinking, now what group do I need to look in? Where do I find this? But if you would like to be added to Becky's Imagineers team, there's another whole wealth of information in there too. She's got virtual party training set up in these units. And it's a lot of what I have on our team page too, but it's hearing it from a different person. And sometimes when you hear it from someone else, it's something that makes a little more sense to someone else. So at any point in time, if you're wanting more learning, we'll definitely be able to point you somewhere to find that. So if you want to be in Imagineers, let me know. And all we have to do is, add you. And when Becky sees that we've added, she'll put you in there. So, all right. Excellent ideas tonight. Does anybody else have any last tidbit or nugget of information that would be great for us to hear?
I don't know how many people have done it, but I'm shooting to try a mystery hostess party in August too, since my calendar's not super full yet. So maybe something to try for a little empty.
And you could also do an out with the old, in with the new mystery hostess party where they order all the old stuff, but you give them like a sneak peek of what's happening with the new stuff at the end. And if anybody wants that, then they wait and they order that, and you can maybe make that 2 shows. I mean, I've heard people kind of play with that where they, divide up the sales, and, people will order a little bit on one, a little bit on the other. It's a great way to get bookings too, like, oh my gosh, there's, I've got some orders. Does anybody want to have a show? I've got orders to add to it. And you could get a booking for September by maybe doing that as well. So make sure you look up discontinued products for that won't be available in the fall. And that's a great way to advertise bookings for August as well. Get them while they last, while they're still in the line. And then also some prices will obviously go up. So I always try to promote August because, have one now before the prices go up, get the last minute things that you can only get now. And then the bookings you get from your party, you can get half price items from all the new stuff when your people host. So with your future party pick. So, all right. Good idea, Emily. All right. Have a great end of July. Those of you who are new, good luck getting started. Reach out as soon as you're, try to look it up maybe for about 5-10 minutes. And if you're frustrated, give us a call. Later, we'll make you look it up longer before we help. I'm just kidding. But no, in the beginning, sometimes you could probably find the answer, but you're getting frustrated and you just need to call, and we know that. So let us know. There's just a lot of clicking and stuff to do, and it all becomes so simple after the first time you go through a set of parties. So hang in there, and we can't wait to see your results. And we will have our next call August 4th, and that'll be the big bulky call where we do recognition for everything great that's happened in July. And we'll also do the focus for getting ready and kind of finishing up August strong. So, all right. And hopefully this is going to post. I'll get off of here and I'll see if I can find it somewhere. I think one thing could be I did not stop the recording, and maybe that's why. I would have thought it still just would have automatically stopped when I ended the call. So
It might still be recording.
Could be. I have no idea. So I'm going to stop the